أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.
Fusus al-Iman is a concise format of explanations related to Sahih Iman based on Tafsir Asadi and Irshad al-Asadi. This book series is named Fusus al-Iman, Bezels of Faith, with the intention that it may be used by the people as an anchor of Sahih Iman when sailing in the oceans of knowledge of Quran and Ahadith. For the students of Quran and Ahadith, Fusus al-Iman can act as a primer that will help them solidify their Iman and prepare them for facing the onslaught of deviant sects who misinterpret the Quranic verses and Ahadith to lead them away from Islam. Since Sahih Iman is the essential requirement of salvation in hereafter, it is important to have correct understanding of all issues related to Sahih Iman to become eligible for salvation. This book contains selected verses from the surah. The explanations of these verses will, insha'Allah, benefit all Muslims of the world in protecting their Iman.
وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِهِمْ فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ.
Translation: And indeed, we tested those who were before them, and Allah will certainly make it known those who are telling the truth, and will certainly make it known those who are liars. Explanation: For achieving anything good in life, one has to work hard. He needs to have perseverance and should face all difficulties on his way. Then only he will succeed in his endeavor. Similarly, if you want to have success in this world as a believer and salvation in hereafter and enter Allah's paradise, you will have to strive on his way and have perseverance in facing the difficulties that come your way. Once a person proclaims his belief in Allah and his Apostle ﷺ and in all the teachings of Islam, the forces opposing Islam get activated against him. The entire machinery of Satan and his associates and helpers in jinn and human beings become his enemy. They will create hurdles in his way and keep on creating trouble until his death. He will have to fight with them and win over those forces. His struggle with his own nafs and Satan's armies is continuous throughout his life. However, the one good thing for the divine wayfarer in this struggle is he can expect Allah's assistance all the way. It is in Quran, and whoever strives hard, he does so for his own good. Surely Allah is self-sufficient and absolutely independent of all the worlds. Al-Ankabut 6. The above verse clarifies that Allah does not put people into trials. To walk on the path of trials is their own decision, made of free will. Rather, Allah helps them to come out successful of those trials. It is in Quran, As for those who strive in our cause, we will surely guide them to our ways. Indeed, Allah is with the righteous. Al-Ankabut 69. Sometimes it may look to someone that there is some delay in divine assistance. In such a scenario, the most probable reason could be that Allah wants to make His servant more stronger in faith to make him eligible for lofty rewards in both the worlds. For whichever way you look, it is Allah's mercy all the way. The verses Al-Ankabut 2 and 3 were revealed at a time when the new believers in Islam were persecuted harshly by Meccan pagans. It was indeed a big testing time for Muslims, but with Allah's assistance, they remained steadfast all through their trial. When we look at the whole picture, we realize that what was actually happening to Muslims in the first 13 years in Makkah and some more years in Medina was the strong disciplinary training by Allah and His Apostle ﷺ. They were subjected to torture in Makkah in the hands of idolaters and had gone through the machinations of the hypocrites in Medina. They were also trained by experiencing near defeats in some battles. Why had they gone through this kind of a training? It was because Allah wanted to reward them with the huge responsibility of propagation of Islam and of administration of a large Muslim state in the world in future. In the process, they became role models for Muslims for generations to come. Quran is meant for all people at all times till the day of resurrection. Its verses are not for a specific time and for specific people. Therefore, we will discuss briefly below what is trial and how it can be endured. What is trial? When a person makes a conscious decision to follow the path of faith, he or she may find themselves in an uncomfortable situation initially. It may feel as though the world has turned against them. Their family, friends, and loved ones may reject them. They might find it hard to gain acceptance of anyone in this world. The evil machinations of Satan might start to hinder in their lives. There might be days with little hope and chronic sickness, but it is all part of a greater design. Patience is the requirement of this time. It is in Quran. Certainly, Allah is with the people who have patience. Al-Baqarah 153. It is in Quran. Allah loves those who have patience. Ali Imran 146. To keep the heart and thoughts balanced during this period is the work of the courageous people. If you lose heart, you may get stagnant. If you do not understand what Allah wants from you, you may end up on the losing side. If you become impatient and start blaming Allah for your difficulties, there is a possibility that you will lose your iman. The guidance and support of an experienced Shaykh of Ihsan can help you overcome your anxieties at this time. The best course is to recite Astaghfar day in and day out and seek Allah's forgiveness all the time. Zikr of Allah's epithets under the guidance of the Shaykh and supplications and recitation of Durood on the Prophet ﷺ helps tremendously on this way. Allah's chosen servants and awliya Allah get through these trials with flying colors. There are two stages of success in trials as follows. First, acceptance, taslim. When the servant bears difficulties and feels no burden on his heart in accepting the commandments of Allah and acts upon it willingly without any resistance whatsoever, this state is known as acceptance, taslim. Second, acquiescence, rida. When the servant gets used to enduring troubles and it becomes easier for him to act upon the commandments of Allah, rather he starts enjoying his tolerance on afflictions, like the drug user gets addicted to taking the sour drug and starts enjoying and relishing its sour taste. This state is known as acquiescence, rida. It is in Quran. Allah's approval is indeed a very big thing. At-Tawbah 72. The people of acceptance and acquiescence are rewarded many bounties. However, if you are successful in one trial, it is not necessary that you will not be subjected to trials again. You may be subjected to trials on many occasions in different environments throughout your life, as was the case with Sahaba. Acceptance and acquiescence are the initial stages of success in trials. When the servant progresses further, he is rewarded with spiritual development. There are three stages of spiritual development as follows. First, the deliverance of deeds, fana-e-afal. When you go through hardships in life, you gain more control over your carnal self, anima, nafs. You also develop trust in Allah. This is the time when the servant realizes that none other than Allah can provide benefit or loss. This state is known as the deliverance of deeds, fana-e-afal. Second, the deliverance of attributes, fana-e-sifat. When the servant advances, he realizes that the attributes of all creatures are dependent on Almighty. He comes to know that everyone in this world is acting as per the commandments of Allah, and Allah's commandments are as per individual natures. Allah does not command an honest and virtuous man to steal and vice versa. Like the scientist knows that various colors we see, like blue, yellow, green, etc., are actually the reflection of the light on the thing. In the same way, the servant realizes that the powers and attributes of everyone are the result of refulgence of divine epithets and attributes reflecting upon the fact of things or creatures. Allah's bestowal is the same for everyone. However, the actions appearing from individuals are as per their natures or attributes. This state is known as the deliverance of attributes, fana-e-sifat. Third, the deliverance of person, fana-e-zat. When the servant advances further, he realizes that his innate person or zat is also dependent on Almighty. He finds that his face or body appears because of the reflection of the refulgence of the divine attributes upon the divine awareness, ma'loom-e-ilahi, or the propagate archetypes, ayan-e-sabita. This state is known as the deliverance of person, fana-e-zat. Explanation of terms used. First, Allah knows about Himself and His attributes. This is known as Allah's knowledge. Second, Allah knows about His creatures. This is known as divine awareness, Malume Ilahi. Third, before our birth, we existed in the knowledge of Allah as His awareness. Fourth, probate archetype is the unit of information about individual creature that exists in Allah's knowledge. These units together are known as probate archetypes.
أتل ما أوحي إليك من الكتاب وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
Translation: Recite and convey to them, O Prophet ﷺ, what is revealed to you of the book, and let them establish salah. Surely the salah restrains from all that is indecent and evil. Indeed, Allah's remembrance, invocation, is a great way of worship. Allah knows all that you do. Explanation: The above verse mentions that in addition to salah, the invocation of Allah is a great way of worship. Invocation, zikr, has been emphasized in many verses of Quran and Hadith. First, it is in Quran, those who have believed and whose hearts are assured by the remembrance or invocation of Allah. Indeed, by the remembrance of Allah, hearts are assured. Ar-Ra'd 28. Second, it is in Quran, O believers, remember Allah with much invocation and exalt Him morning and afternoon. Al-Ahzab 42-43. Third, it is in Quran, remember me and I will remember you. Al-Baqarah 152. The meaning of the above command is, when your forgetfulness from Allah goes, you become close to Him and you are rewarded with a special place in His audience. Fourth, it is in Quran, whoever overlooks the remembrance of the most compassionate, we assign him a devil as a companion. They hinder them from the path, though they think they are guided and are on the right path. Az-Zukhruf 36-37. Fifth, it is in Hadith. Abu Musa al-Ashari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the similitude of one who remembers his Lord and one who does not remember Him is like that of the living and the dead. Bukhari, Muslim. Sixth, it is in Hadith. Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, to raise the voice for zikr of Allah after the people had finished their obligatory prayer was the practice during the time of the Apostle of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, by this zikr, I used to know when they have finished the prayer and would listen to the zikr of Allah done loudly. Abu Dawud, Book 2, Hadith number 614. The objective of invocation, zikr, is mindfulness of Allah. Zikr is to remember Allah in such a way that we don't forget Him. It is in Quran, those who do zikr of Allah standing and sitting and lying on their sides, Ali Imran. The above verse explains how to remain in the perpetuity of His presence, dawam huzur, all the time. It is in Hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, do invocation of Allah to an extent that people call you insane. Musnad Ahmad. Zikr of Allah's epithets, names, is most popular with Sufi shuyukh of Ihsan. And the most important invocation, zikr, is the invocation of Kalima Tayyaba, La ilaha illallahu, which has a significant effect in the prevention of evil considerations, wasawis. The invocation of La ilaha illallahu is the commandment of Allah, which has been received through the Prophet ﷺ. It is in Quran, you say Allah and let these forgetful people be involved in nonsensical talk. Al-An'am 91. Recitation or zikr of durood is the remembrance of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, which is obligatory on all Muslims. First, it is in Quran, certainly Allah and His angels send Allah's blessings on the Prophet ﷺ. O believers, you also recite for Allah's blessings on Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Al-Ahzab 56. Second, it is in Quran, Abdullah bin Masud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Apostle of Allah ﷺ said, on the day of resurrection, the person closest to me will be the one who has sent the most durood on me. Tirmidhi. Third, it is in Hadith. Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As radiyallahu ta'ala anhu reported, I heard the Apostle of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, whoever supplicates Allah to exalt for me, recites durood, Allah would exalt him 10 times. Muslim. Fourth, it is in Hadith. The Apostle of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Before whomsoever my name is mentioned, he should recite durood upon me. Nasai. Thus, the zikr of the epithets of Allah and recitation of durood are the commandments of Allah and His Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Repeated and excessive invocation of an epithet of Allah produces the effect of that epithet, and the person witnesses its effulgence in his heart. There are different invocations, azkar, for different people depending upon their requirements. It is therefore advisable that invocations are done with the permission and under the supervision of an experienced Sahihul Aqidah Ahl Sunnah Shaykh of Ihsan. We have provided below a brief account of the types of invocations practiced by different Ahl Sunnah Shuyukh of Ihsan. First, roundabout breathing invocation, pas in fas. Some Shuyukh teach recitation of Kalima Tayyaba, La ilaha illallah, several times in a breath, and some teach the invocation of Allah, Allah in every breath. They say, no breath should be void from Allah's invocation. This is known as roundabout breathing invocation, pas in fas. Second, eye invocation, zikr-e-aini. Some people say La ilaha with their eyes open, negate nafi, everything by closing their eyes, and say illallahu by closing their eyes and affirm isbat, the unity of Allah. This is also a kind of roundabout breathing invocation, pas in fas. The other way of roundabout breathing invocation is they take a deep breath and say Allah, an impulse upon their heart, and while releasing their breath, they say Hu. Roundabout breathing invocation is a quiet invocation. This is also known as invocation of heart, zikr-e-qalbi. Some people do this invocation with eyes open and say Huwa az-zahiru, and by closing their eyes they say Huwa al-batinu. All these are known as eyeing invocations. Third, audible and quiet invocation. Audible invocation, zikr-e-jaher, creates an ardor, josh, in the heart and develops passions of love and affection of Allah and His Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Similar good couplets and pleasant religious songs are joyous and create intensive virtuous passions. In Qadri, Chishti and Rafai, Sufi Salasil, audible invocation is popular. In other Salasil like Naqshbandiya, people do quiet invocation. The quiet invocation creates a kind of spiritual unconsciousness and dumbfound effect. Fourth, sitting invocation, habse dam. In this invocation, people hold their breath by touching their tongues with palate. Holding breath is of various types. Some people empty the air of their stomach to an extent that frontal skin of their stomach touches their backs from inside. They call this vacuousness, takhliya. Some people fill their stomach with air and call it distension, tahliya. Some people stop their breath in the middle of breathing and call it reckoning anima, hasar-e-nafs. This type of invocation produces excessive heat, leading to spiritual unconsciousness. Fifth, invocation of ascent and descent, zikr-e-suwood wa nuzul. This invocation is done generally in sitting position. They draw La ilaha from the navel and take it up to the middle of the brain, head, and give an impulse with illallahu. Bring it back to the navel point. Some people do it while lying on their back and while standing. Sixth, walking invocation. In this invocation, when they are walking slowly, with every step they say Allah, Allah in their heart. Or on one step they say La ilaha, and on the other say illallahu. If they are walking fast, on the first step they say La. On the second, they say ilaha. On the third step, they say illal. And on the fourth step, they say lahu. 7. Invocation of tranquility, chilla kashi. This is seclusive prayer, itikaf. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sit in seclusive prayers in the month of Ramadan. Some of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's respected wives also used to sit in seclusive prayers. Some Shuyukh of Ihsan also sit in seclusive prayers and keep the fast of Maryam, Saum-e-Maryam, simultaneously. While fasting during the day, they do not talk. Prophet Zakaria alayhi salam also used to sit in seclusive prayers, and for Allah's acceptance of the prayers, he used to refrain from talking to anyone. 8. In Qadri lineage, people give rosary bounding, zakat, of each divine epithets with concluding supplications, Tawajjuhat-e-Sharif. What is rosary bounding? To recite the name of Allah or any other divine epithet for 100,000 or 125,000 times is known as one rosary bounding. This limit has been prescribed in Quran. It is in Quran 100,000 times or a little more. As-Saffat 147. Along with the invocation of each epithet, there are concluding supplications. Tawajjuhat Sharif. For details, the books like Khamsa by Ghaus Gwalior Rahmatullah Alayh. Second, Kashkol-e-Kalimi by Shah Kalimullah Johan Abadi Rahmatullah Alayh. Third, Fuyuzat-e-Qadriya by Ghaus al-Azam Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Fourth, Samrat-e-Makkiya by Shah Rafiuddin Khandari Rahmatullah Alayh. And fifth, Schedule of Deeds of Supplicants of Allah by Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Qadir Siddiqui Rahmatullah Alayh can be referred.
يا عبادي الذين آمنوا إن أرضي واسعة فإياي فاعبدون.
Translation: O my servants who believe but are prevented from living in accordance with their belief, my earth is vast, so worship me alone. Explanation: The above verse implies that when things become too difficult for Muslims to practice their religion freely, they can immigrate to a place where they can protect their iman and live safely. When things became too difficult for Muslims in Makkah, in view of pagans' persecution, a group of them migrated to Ethiopia, where King Negus, Ashma, allowed them to live honorably. Later, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his remaining companions migrated to Medina. In the light of the above commandment, whenever Muslims face repression by local non-believers and are forced to alter or change their faith as a condition of nationalism, they can migrate to another country where they can practice Islam freely. Sahih Iman is of paramount importance. Muslims have the option to immigrate rather than obey anyone if they're forced for committing shirk in the name of relationships, interfaith harmony or nationalism. It is in Quran, we have enjoined man to show kindness to his parents. But if they force you to commit shirk with me, of which you have no knowledge, do not obey them. To me is your return, and I will inform you of what you have done. Al-Ankabut 8. Followers of Ammani sect among Muslims propagate perennialism in the name of interfaith harmony. What is perennialism? Perennialism, or perennial philosophy, which has its roots in Platonism, was condemned by Imam Ghazali during his lifetime. 1058 to 1111. Perennialism is also known as universalism and traditionalism. This is based on the philosophy that all religions are truthful and you may follow any religion, you may get salvation in hereafter. In Indian subcontinent, this thought is known as Sulah-e-Kulli. Perennialist Sufis have infiltrated into many Sufi orders in the world in our time. They treat Sufism as a religion independent of Islam. They also claim Sufism predates Islam. Nazim al-Haqqani, Dr. Tahir al-Qadri and many others who have signed Amman message belong to this group. The Ammanis allow their followers to visit Hindu temples, Christian churches, Sikh gurudwaras, Jewish synagogues, Buddhist temples to participate in their services in the name of interfaith harmony. They also allow people belonging to different religions to visit their mosques to worship as per their customs. The propagators of Amman message have published English translation of Quran titled Study Quran in line with Christian Bible and Jewish Torah, Talmud. It does not contain verses of Quran in Arabic. One has to read only English version of Ammani interpretation of Quranic verses. Dr. Sayyid Hussain Nasr and his perennialist team has authored this book. They have interpreted the meaning of the Quran in such a way that the readers will start believing perennialism or Ammanism as Islam. The following are the important features of this book. First, it is claimed that this book is written with an aim to be part of the syllabi of all universities or educational institutions in the world who are giving courses in Islamic subjects. It is written from Christian or Jews and non-Muslims' point of view. Dr. Nasr and his team treat Quran as an object with its own voice. They do not treat Quran as the word of God as believed by Muslims. Second, the traditionalist, perennialist language used in the book is extremely misleading. After reading this book, one will be more inclined to accept all religions as authentic. Some essays have been included in the back of the book that lead people to believe in pluralism, meaning all religions are authentic and followers of all religions will get salvation in hereafter. particularly the essay written by Joseph Lombard, a member of Dr. Nasser's team who wrote this book, entitled The Quranic View of Sacred History and Other Religions, is noteworthy in this context. Third, the explanations in this book lead one to believe that the belief in Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is optional, not essential for Muslims to get salvation in hereafter. Only the belief in one God is sufficient. Even the belief in the Quran itself, in compliance with its injunctions and conformity with Islamic Sharia, is not compulsory for individuals living in the post-Muhammadan world. With this understanding, the readers of this book will surely renounce Islam as taught by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ altogether and will embrace Ammanism, perennialism as their religion. Fourth, there are many misinterpretations in this book that are aimed at converting Muslims into Ammanis. Some of these misinterpretations are given below. A. Kharijites have not been refused for their outrageous beliefs. Rather, their beliefs have been diluted to exonerate them from disbelief. B. The book does not reject the Christian belief of Trinity. Rather, it is misinterpreted in such a way that the reader starts endorsing the Christian Trinity belief. C. The Quranic emphasis of sodomy and punishment of the people of Lut a.s. has been diluted to lead people to believe that there is a difference between consensual sex and forced sex, and the people of Lut a.s. were not punished for sodomy per se. Rather, they were punished for their overall crime, particularly their pedophile tendency. D. The issue related to zina and its hudud, punishment, has been diluted in the book to an extent that people start believing that what Muslims practiced for hundreds of years was based on the misinterpretation of earlier scholars of Islam. Fifth, all Ammani scholars have endorsed this book.
وكأين من دابة لا تحمل رزقها الله يرزقها وإياكم وهو السميع العليم.
Translation: How many a creature who give no thought to their own sustenance, but Allah provides for them and for you. He is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Explanation: The above verse implies that you should not run for making money by hook or crook, forgetting the teachings of Islam. Your sustenance is guaranteed by Allah. You need to find your livelihood by honest means and eating what is permissible and refrain from what is forbidden. The primary purpose of human beings in this world is to worship their Creator. It is in Quran, "And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me." Ad-Dhariyat 56. Earning for livelihood is the secondary responsibility. If you seek your livelihood by honest means, you will be rewarded. If you seek it by dishonest means, you will be subjected to its consequences in this world and in hereafter.
صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.